Geekazine and Geek Smack is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network over at techpodcast.com. If it's tech, then it's here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, yes, we have taken a few weeks off. Now we're back. We're back in the saddle again. We've got CES action, we've got HP action, we've got lots of other action. We're going to be talking about MegaUploads, we're going to be talking about State of the Union, we're going to be talking about Google, we're going to be talking about blah-de-de-blah-de-de-blah-de-de-blah, lots of tech, lots of geek. We're going to smack it out here and give you some Stormtrooper cake just to top it off, the icing on top of that whole thing. And today, we're brought to you by our friends over at Go to My PC. Click the Try It Free Now button, enter in the code podcast for a 30-day free trial. Also, our friends over at Mozy Pro, protect your data by going over to mozypro.com. Get 15% off by using the code podcast15. Our friends over at Roku, stop dreaming, start streaming. Prices start at $49. Go over to geekazine.com/Roku to find out more. And of course, Stitcher.com/geek gets you a download for your iPhone, for your Android, for your BlackBerry, for your WebOS. If you put in your email address and download it from here, you could win yourself $100. And then all of our video is brought to you by Wirecast on Telestream. Go over to telestream.net for Wirecast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get started with the show. I'm back! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thanks a lot for coming to the Geek Smack Show, the show where we smack the geek out of the geeks with the Geek Smack and your geeky geek smack. And like I said, we'll give you a little bit of Stormtrooper cake as we exit through the gift shop. My name is Jeffrey Powers. You can find me over at Geekazine.com, www.geek.zine.com. Actually, not that many dots, but take out most of the dots and you're dotted there. Dot the I's, cross the T's, get over to Geekazine.com. We got content galore coming up through the CES content, through the HP content, through the new show iPad 365, and of course Geek Smack. And of course, I took 3 weeks off. And I feel a little bit more invigorated, a little bit more refreshed. A lot of things have happened in the last 3 weeks. I went to Las Vegas. I went to Colorado. I went insane, pretty much, yeah. A quick little update. The truck is still got the electrical gremlins. They've been working back and forth. I got the truck back for a couple days, and then the battery died again. But that is the problems with electrical. Is once you start going, you got to finish. So we got that going, and of course. Things in my head, the little illness and stuff like that, I still feel a little bit woozy, but they said that inner ear things can last a few months, so we'll just keep going and do some more exercise and go from there. So anyway, yeah, it has been 3 weeks. Thanks a lot for coming back. If this is the first time you've come to the Geek Smack Show, thank you very, very much. We do this every single Wednesday for your consumption. Tuesday for Wednesday consumption, that is. We got a little bit of tech news. We got a little bit of geek news. So stick around. We've got a lot of cool stuff. Thanks to everybody that helped out with CES and made it a successful show. The videos. We actually got word from GoDaddy that we almost crashed their servers or something like that. 45 terabytes worth of data passed through, something crazy, some big crazy number. So they actually switched us to a larger server because that's what the 4GH hosting really does. And that was just amazing. So support GoDaddy and get 25% off year hosting. And of course that's a code that'll happen all year long. And but 25% off. You can go over to tpn.tv and get all the details. That's where all the videos are. Of course, we're putting videos up on Geekazine as well. Just did the Canon Vixia interview, which is awesome. The new Vixias with Wi-Fi capability, tethering to an iPhone, so you can shoot a video and send it straight to a source. Send it to maybe a YouTube or a computer or something like that. So that's the cool thing about all that. I could go on and on and on, but ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a lot of stuff to get through. So let's get into your tech news for today. Tech Smack. We are going to start over at the Huffington Post, and talking about Twitter censorship. What? Twitter censorship? Oh, before we do, I almost forgot. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to do the ceremonial. This is, just so you know, well, let me zoom this in really quick, and then we'll get into the news. I don't think, there we go. These are the tags that I used for CES. Of course, this is my blogger tag right here, and this is our exhibitor pass, which is what got us into CES, where other bloggers couldn't get into CES, which was pretty cool, because we had a full booth. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, the badges go into the badge area. Along with the other badges, we got other CES badges. We got HP Tech Forum, HP TechCrunch Disrupt, HP Discover, so on and so forth. Got all the badges right there. I gotta place that in a better place so you can see that a little bit better. But now we've got that over there, and we can move on from there. All right, let's start. Like I said, we're gonna start over at Huffington Post, Twitter censorship. Talking about that, there is a CEO Dick Costolo talked about what is going on with Twitter. If you haven't really followed or just got really confused, basically, if you tweet something, and let's say you say something that Germany, like you Heil Hitler, for example, and you say that in Twitter, Germany is going to censor that tweet. That's how it's going to work. That's the plan of Twitter. They're getting a lot of flack over this censorship thing. Of course, there's if you break the law on Twitter, shouldn't you get in trouble? At the most, you're just losing the tweet, and big deal there. You don't get tweeted in Germany for praising a Nazi Germany icon. So what? Well, anyway, he spoke at the All Things D conference, the CEO Dick Costolo, and he talked about the censorship and why they're doing that. And, after reading a little bit, now I've only read a little bit. I haven't read the whole thing. But after reading a little bit, I'm kind of for the Twitter censorship. I mean, why not have some clean posts now and then, I don't think I do anything that's damning in other countries. Then again, you have China, which doesn't like blogging anyway. So they take out all of them. Does Twitter even work over in China? I don't know. But anyway, if you've got a comment on that, let me know. Twitter me at Geekazine if you can, or email me at geekazine@gmail.com. I didn't position this camera right, so a little bit off, but that's okay. That is okay. And of course, I've been 3 weeks off. Those little gremlins kind of come back and they go, wait a minute, we're doing this again? Oh my goodness, crazy stuff. So I had problems when I first turned on the computers and got the configuration all set up, and it was just a fun little nightmare. But we're doing the show, and that's pretty cool, I think. So anyway, let's move over to Ars Technica, and they're talking about how Apple is issuing a second set of updates to the Final Cut Pro 10 users. It's going to bring back some functionality of the previous version of Final Cut Pro. It's going to improve the XML support, and it's just going to do a number of updates. So if you have Final Cut 10 and have been complaining about it, you can get your update now. Of course, if you don't have Final Cut 10 and you've been thinking about updating to it, you might want to check this out and see if that is something that you want to update to. All right, moving from Ars Technica over to CNET, AT&T's talking about shuffling their executives. The CEO of AT&T, the previous CEO, John Stankey, is now going to be Group President and Chief Strategy Officer in charge of developing AT&T's roadmap for future growth. Yeah, try and put that on a business card. Well, they're moving around some stuff today, just keeping things fresh and current and stuff like that. Most of you hate AT&T anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But if you want to read more on that, go over to cnet.com. All right. RIM, as of course, they've got their brand new staff in there, and he thinks, and the CEO, what's his name? They basically think that going with superheroes is the plan. And so what they did was Research in Motion basically created a set of superheroes for RIM, and each one of them has the ability for, communication. One of them has the ability for friends and stuff like that. They all have different names. Let's see if we can find the names here. We have Go-Go Girl, can save the day with her brilliant strategy. Max Stone, Justin Steele, and Trudy For Real. And it says Judy For Real is not afraid to call it as she sees it. So this is what RIM's thinking of to bring back customers to their BlackBerry thing. Does it work? Are you like going, oh my God, I should get myself a RIM. I should get myself a BlackBerry. Let me know. Twitter me at Geekazine or geekazine@gmail.com. All right, from there, we're going to go over to USA Today. Last week, Facebook said, okay, get ready. Your timeline, it's going to go. It's going to happen. You've got so many days to clean up your timeline before the big push comes in and you lose your old Facebook look. And a lot of people are complaining about, I don't want my old Facebook. Blah, blah. Anyway, it's just a page, folks. That's it. Just a page. Actually works a little bit better, and you might find you use it a little bit more. I know I do. But anyway, personal preference aside, maybe you still like that. You want to go back to it. Well, there's been some sites out there that have said, okay, well, we'll set it up. You just bring your stuff over here, and we'll make it look like the old page, and it will not change. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is a scam, or as Admiral Akbar would say, it's a trap. Yeah, there's a lot of fraudulent scams out there saying now pointing towards the old Facebook look. So no matter what, you're going to the new Facebook. The new Facebook is what's going to happen, and it is what it is. If you don't like it, get off Facebook. I suppose that's the only way that I can think of it. But like I said, I've used the new Facebook look, and pretty impressive. I like it a lot. So if you want to read more on this, go over to usatoday.com. All right, one big thing that happened while I was on my sabbatical, or whatever, my hiatus, I guess you could call it, was MegaUploads. And a lot of you are wondering, a few of you have asked, hey, what's this MegaUploads thing? I don't understand what this MegaUploads is. Well, if you have a Dropbox account, if you send it to send files, larger files over the internet, it's kind of similar to that. MegaUpload was one of those programs, except MegaUpload did a lot of things. It didn't really follow the legalities. And the biggest thing when you have a company like this is you're always dealing with online piracy. And when something gets posted, it's like with YouTube. If something gets posted, it gets reviewed. And if there's anything that's questionable, then the reviewers will go back and say, hey, we had to take this down. I've had videos taken down because of 10 seconds of a song or something like that. It's all about the rights management. Well, what happens is the takedown letters go to a place like MegaUploads or YouTube for that matter, and then they have a certain amount of time where they inform somebody and then take it down. If it doesn't happen, then they get in more trouble. So apparently the first part was the fact that MegaUploads wasn't really adhering to that policy. They were overlooking all these emails saying, hey, this needs to go down, this needs to go down, this needs to be taken down. There were also some issues of laundering. There were also some issues of illegal activity from behind the scenes. That is why MegaUpload went down. Now, a lot of people have been asking, saying, what's going on? Because there was no due process in this whole thing. It was just taken down. There's other things that are behind it, blah, blah, blah. But the bigger problem is that a lot of people who used MegaUpload for legal reasons have a lot of their data that's pretty much locked up. And if they backed it up there, or if they put it up there and then they deleted it on their computers, they can't get to it because all the data is locked down right now. And a lot of these servers are starting to delete that data. So you could, if you had a file up on MegaUpload, let's say it was some guy explaining life as a whole, you pretty much could lose it. So a lot of people trying to get their data back. A lot of things happening. That's what this article is all about. Check it out. It's over on PCMag.com. And of course, we'll have that in the show notes. Google, another big issue was Google's privacy policy. Lots of things happening there. We're going to talk about that in the main part here, so I won't get too much into it. They're basically going back and forth trying to get this privacy policy. Basically, it's been grouped into one thing for the Gmail, for the Google Plus, for the Picasa, for all these other programs that Google has, and I like it. And I'll talk about it in a little bit later, but if you want to read more on this, go over to dailytech.com. All right. If you remember that story about Samsung Galaxy Tab, you know how the Galaxy Tab they fought with Apple. Apple tried to get it banned in certain areas, and then Samsung was trying to get Apple banned in certain areas. Well, apparently in Germany, they are still banned. In fact, in German court, Apple won another one where the Samsung Galaxy Tab cannot be sold in Germany. So people in Germany are going to be pretty much without a Samsung Galaxy Tab. Sorry for that news, but it is what it is, I guess. So if you want to read more about that, this is over on HuffingtonPost.com. All right. What do we got here? I guess I got a little error there. Let's try that. Okay, there we go. Now, let's say you're coming to the United States. The last thing you want to do is upset anybody. And that's what this guy did. Apparently, he sent out a tweet, and the tweet went something like this. His name is Leigh Van Bryn. And he's an Irish citizen, and he decided to come to America. And he said in his tweet, "Free this week for quick gossip / prep. Before I go, I destroy America." Well, guess what? Somebody saw that and said, this guy's a threat. So when he got to the airport, they pretty much they took him down. They arrested him. And because they wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to take down America like he said in his tweet. Now, although it's all about freedom of speech and stuff like that. Oh, that's horrible. Let me do this. Although it's all about freedom of speech and stuff like that, it is, we do have to be a little bit careful about what happens in this day and age. So if somebody says, I'm going to go destroy America before they get on a plane and fly to America, or while they're in America, I could see, somebody actually saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't let this person in because they might destroy America. Now, if he would have worded it differently, basically saying that he's going to rock, he's going to be there and be a rock star while he's there in America, that would have been a little bit different. So, bottom line is, yeah, you have freedom of speech in the United States. You don't have freedom of speech anywhere else. And if you're coming from anywhere else into the United States, is there a little bit of scrutiny? Some people would think that. A little bit of scrutiny right there. We're doing witch trials again. But we do have to cover ourselves, make sure that this guy is not a threat. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know by twittering me at Geekazine or geekazine@gmail.com. Also have the hotline, 608-205-4378. 608-205-4378. We're going to take a small little break here, and we will be right back for your geek side over on Geek Smack. Let me tell you a little bit about Go to My PC by Citrix and how I use it, because I'll tell you something. I use this program a lot. Now, of course, a lot of us have one of these, tablet, and some of us have an iPad, some of us have an Android, some of us have an iPhone, some of us have an Android phone. It doesn't matter, because now with this, you can access your computer. You can access a second computer. You can access a third computer. I got 3 computers in this room alone. And I can access them all here on my iPad. How do I do that? I use a program like Go to My PC. Go to My PC will let you access via 3G, via Wi-Fi. Wherever you have internet access, you can get up there and control your PC. When you got a Android or a tablet or an iPad or something like that, it gives you a little virtual mouse which you can use to move around and do your right clicks and your left clicks, so you're not accidentally selecting the wrong thing. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. I was in an airport on January 6th trying to connect to my Go to My PC at home, this computer that's sitting over here you can't see. And I connected up just fine right on the 3G and through my iPhone. And I got 3GS iPhone. and I was moving around. I was basically transferring back channel files over to this computer so it would live stream the back channel, which is what we did. I used my internet connection at home to the best of its ability while I was in Vegas. And that's the coolest thing, is you can utilize your utilities. You don't have to take a big bulky computer with you, and you can get things done. And that's the cool thing about Go to My PC. Don't take my word for it, of course. Go over to Go to My PC, click the Try It Free Now button, enter in the code PODCAST. Get you that 15-day free trial. 15 days for free over at Go to My PC. Remember, try it free and enter in the code PODCAST. By Citrix. Go to My PC, access now, so you don't have to worry about it later. Geek Smack. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we are. Don't have a tally light on my camera, so not as professional as when we were at CES, I guess. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time for the Smackish of Geekish, the Geek Smack side of Geek Smack with your geek and your smack. And we're going to start today over at Device.com. Device.com has you some birthday cake. And for some of you, you know that my special day was last week, and 2 weeks ago, excuse me, and we had some really cool stuff. Had some cool cake, but didn't have this cool a cake. Little Stormtrooper cake right there. It feeds apparently about 600 people and weighs about 300 pounds. And it was a 6 foot, 4 inch tall Stormtrooper created by Amanda Oakleaf Cakes. So if you want yourself a Stormtrooper cake, it looks like the icing is very, very thick to make sure it doesn't look like there's seams on that cake, because there's probably multiple layers. But if you're looking for TK527, I think that's who it was, he might be there with a little chunk out of his brain. I don't know. That was the droid I was looking for, maybe. I don't know. Check it out. It's over at Device.com. I know that was cheesy. What can you do? All right. There's these little things called the RC Flying People superhero, remote-controlled flying people or something like that. This is a video over on ubergizmo.com. Let's see if we can show you a little bit of that. So apparently they have these remote-controlled people. They're like 78 inches tall, and of course they're not like real people. They're like big kites, and these people were just kind of setting them up. They remote control them, and they flew them across New York City. So it was pretty interesting to see this video and how it worked and how they got these people to fly. And of course, later in the video, they're showing. Let's get a little bit farther in the video. There we go. There's the flying people throughout New York City. I bet you it caused a lot of confusion on that. If you want to see the whole video, go over to ubergizmo.com. Of course, like I said, we'll have it in the show notes for you there, so you can get to that site. Well, let's go over to Mashable here, and I love Mashable's infographics. I've tried to do infographics myself, and they're a pain. I can tell you that right now to do. But Mashable has this infographic right here. If you were to take Facebook and print it from page to page, how much paper you think it would take? A heck of a lot of paper. I'm telling you that right now. So they basically they're giving you a little bit more information. If you print it on Facebook, according to the study, 62% of respondents updated their Facebook status once a day. 800 million users on the active users on Facebook right now. So basically, let's go down a little bit here. 1 year's worth of status updates, 584 billion lines. So that's 11.5 billion sheets of paper, which was compared to 500,000 Oxford English dictionaries. I didn't even look at a dictionary when dictionaries were over computers, let alone I look at Facebook. Of course, Facebook isn't a dictionary, so I don't know. It's amazing. Really cool infographic. You can check it out over at Mashable.com. All right, some Canadian teams back over on Device.com. Some Canadian teens decided, hey, let's launch some Legos into space. So what they did was they did a $400 launch. They called it the first Lego Not into Space. Of course, as you can see, the little Lego guy with the Canadian flag. They used the GPS tracker, and they used a phone to do the video recording. It was Matthew Ho and Asad Muhammad. They sent the Lego minifig into space. It didn't technically get out to space. They used a weather balloon, and it got, which was $85 and $165 worth of helium from the party store. It got up to 85,000 feet when the balloon popped. Technically not in space, but higher than you would get in an airplane, that's for sure. And, of course, they used the GPS tracker to find it once it landed to Earth, and they got it back, and they got the video, and this is what happened. And, of course, I think the video, yep, they got it there. It's a YouTube video. You can check it out over at device.com. Going over to Business Unusual, in Wisconsin, we just started the concealed carry law, where you can have a concealed weapon on your person. A lot of people have been putting up signs saying no weapons whatsoever in our establishment, but it is what it is, and we're not in here to talk politics, but we're talking geek. And one of the geek things is this one guy who's actually a millionaire over this whole concealed carry law. And his name is Tim Schmidt. He is the president of the United States Concealed Carry Association. Now, what makes him a millionaire is the fact that he's done all these videos, instructional videos on how to carry and conceal your weapon and be safe about it. So it's a pretty informational video. And, of course, he makes a lot of cash off of doing that. So my question to you is this. I've done the geek thing. I've done the music thing. I'm doing the iPad thing, which is doing pretty well. Should I do a series on concealed carry? Would you watch it? Let me know. Twitter me at Geekazine or geekazine@gmail.com. I'm being a little bit sarcastic. I don't think I wouldn't probably be the best person to do a concealed carry thing. Maybe I could do a little parody of that. We'll see what happens. But if you want to check that out, go over to businessunusual.com. All right, let's check this out. This is over on oldgizmo.com. And the name of the title of this video is Let's Destroy a Washing Machine. Now, we'll take off the annotations there. Basically, this guy, he puts a whole bunch of stuff into a washing machine, like a cube and stuff like that. Starts it up. It looks like he's got some safety goggles on, which is good. Starts up the washing machine. Starts to act really weird. And as things go, the washing machine gets a little bit more funky, a little bit more funky. And it kind of looks like it's CGI'd after a while. It's like... Can you hear that? You can hear that. That's why I made it. Do this. There you go. Can't hear that. Sorry about that. I didn't realize the new Wirecast has the ability to push the sound without me having the sound plugged in. Anyway, the technical stuff. So we're watching this washing machine go completely wild. Now, at one point, you'll see him. Let's see if I can find it. He throws something in to the washing. There it goes. He just threw something in the washing machine and completely went berserk. And then, of course, it went into its death state. So if you want to watch the whole thing, go over to OhMyGizmo or ogizmo.com is where you go. So, all right, and that brings us to the end of Geek Smack. If you have any questions, once again, Geekazine is the Twitter handle, geekazine@gmail.com. We're going to be back with your finish here, and we're going to be talking about MegaUploads, Google, State of the Union, and Yahoo, all in one shot, and we're going to do it right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for you to protect your data and protect your business. Yes, I said protect your business. With thousands of hard drives that die every single year, you want to be able to protect yourself. Over 140,000 hard drives die every single week. And of course, you back up your stuff. You're very, very cautious about doing that. You back it up from this computer, maybe to this computer, but it's still on site. Fire, theft, flood, anything like that could wipe out your business. And being down for 24 hours could mean bankruptcy for your company. If you're trying to get your... And that's a big thing right there. I've seen businesses go down because their hard drives, because their data got exposed, got wiped, got taken. I want to tell you about Mozy Pro. It's the most trusted name in online backup. They back up more data than the entire written works of mankind. And they back up to PCs, they back up to Macs, they back up to over servers of over 70,000 organizations, GE, Starwood Hotels, Accenture, Subway, even schools like Stanford University and Yale School of Management. And that basically almost brought their business down, their school down to their knees when they had a problem. But they used Mozy Pro to bring it back and get back up online. It's easy to set up, easy to use. You can use a PC, you can use a Mac, and you've got military-grade encryption on Mozy's world-class data center. Mozy successfully restores lost data of thousands of computers and servers each month. It's got 24/7 tech support, and the plans are affordable. Don't take my word for it. Check it out. Go over to 877, call 877-669-9776. And remember that code podcast15, because that's going to save you 15% off that already low price. And or just go over to mozypro.com and use the code podcast15 to save 15% off. So protect your data and protect your business with Mozy Pro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thanks a lot for sticking around for Geek Smack. My name is Jeffrey Powers. You can find all this stuff over at Geekazine.com. Once again, we're doing a lot of CES action. And of course, iPad 365, which is an app a day to keep your iPad in play. It's on Mondays we do business apps. On Tuesdays we do games. Wednesdays is utility. Today's game, just this really interesting game called Death Rally, which was awesome. Utilities on Wednesdays, productivity apps on Thursdays. Fridays is viewer choice. You can call and you can review an app and then send it to me and go from there. Of course, Saturdays wild card and Sundays fun day. And we're doing it for 365 days. So check it out over at geekazine.com/iPad 365. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to talk for a minute. A lot of things have happened in the last 3 weeks. And since I've been out of CES, trying to get all this video for you, I took a small little break from the Geek Smack show. So we wanted to talk about it, but I wanted to talk about, I can only talk about everything. So I'm going to talk about everything right now of what happened in this last month. Now, the last few weeks have been chock full of news. We saw that Yahoo's co-founder Jerry Yang finally got it and stepped down. We saw MegaUpload mega down. We saw Google Empire get organized and set up a new privacy policy. And we saw the State of the Union, which talked about jobs. So which one do we talk about? Yeah, we'll talk about them all, I say. First of all, let's talk about Yahoo. Jerry, this should have happened years ago. I did not like the way that he handled Yahoo in the last 3 years. Since 2009. Now, it's not about the Yahoo Microsoft bid buyout and stuff like that. It's about what happened after that fact, after Yahoo said, no, we're not for sale. It should have happened back then. He should have stepped down and gotten somebody, a CEO, that was going to go. Carl Icahn, of course, he was a big player back then, and now I think he sold all his Yahoo stake. Doesn't want any part of it. Maybe he's got a few shares left, but not as many as he used to have. And a lot of people have come and go through Yahoo. And I've always said, Yahoo, maybe it's time to get a new CEO. Once Jerry Yang steps down, the new CEO then changes the name Yahoo. Because when you think Yahoo, you think 1999. Or at least that's what I think of Yahoo. 1999, not 2011. It's time for a new type of Yahoo and a new name. Just like JCPenney with the Apple new CEO, which used to be over at Apple. It's making fun of the JCPenney stuff with jcp.com. Awesome stuff. And, of course, we're going to see a lot of stuff during the Super Bowl this next week, which is going to be pretty interesting. All right. Going from there, we're going to look at Google. Now, a lot of people have been talking about this privacy policy, and now it's basically a one umbrella privacy policy for all their programs, whether it be Gmail, Google+, Picasa, Some of the other stuff that they have, Google Documents. They've got groups at Google, groups.google.com. They got the magazine, where you can actually look at not magazines, but brochures and the big Sears books that come out, I guess you could say. So they've basically made one policy, which I applaud them for, because so many companies have like a privacy policy here and privacy policy here and a privacy policy here. And if you were to actually look at those privacy policies, I bet you could find some nomenclature that in each of the policies that basically kind of overwrite the other policy. So Google said, no, we're just going to make it very simple. We're going to have one place where everything is going to be said and go through. Now, I haven't gone through the whole privacy policy. There's been a lot of question about it. And it's not about that. We're not talking about the questionable stuff just yet, because every single privacy policy will have an area that people will go, really? Yeah, look at Geekazine's privacy policy, which I haven't technically updated in a long time. It's probably got something where you're going to go, really? Really? I don't know. But that's Google. I applaud them for making one privacy policy to rule them all. Now, next thing we're going to talk about is MegaUploads. Now, when you go with a questionable company, you get questionable product. When you get a questionable product, if the cops come and seize it, not much you can do. This reminds me of the days when we had the BBS raids and the feds raided the BBS. There was a lot more that was happening in MegaUploads, a lot more that a lot of us don't understand and probably haven't been given information to. But you just don't take down a company because you want to. You got to have some legal something that's going to really, really solidify taking it down. And I have a feeling in the months to come, we're going to find more about MegaUpload and their problem. But the biggest thing was that, when something illegal went up on there, the takedown notices came and they didn't take them down in time. And that was the biggest issue right there. Finally, the State of the Union. And I've talked about this publicly several times. Last week, we had Barack Obama talk about the State of the Union, and he decided to pop Steve Jobs, which is a good thing. The man passed away a few months ago. I mean, that's I understand that. However, Steve Jobs was not about the American worker. In fact, he publicly told Barack Obama on different occasions that he took workers out of the United States because of the fact that they didn't have the skills. Well, the real issue was that they might have had the skills or might have learned the skills, but he couldn't pay their wages for that. So instead, go over to Foxconn, pay somebody $17 a day, and give them a place to live and give them conditions that aren't that great, and you can make yourself a tablet and a phone and a computer. There's some word about actually bringing some Apple jobs back to the United States, but the biggest thing was this small pop inside the State of the Union address gave Apple, the next day, gave Apple a $25 boost. Now, of course, Apple also came out with their earnings report on the same day. So, question was that because of Apple's earning? Or was that because of the fact that a president mentioned Steve Jobs, which did get associated to Apple? That's the big problem I have with what happened at the State of the Union address. And it's kind of favoritism if you think about it. Now, I don't, I use Apple products. I got an iPad. I do a show on iPad. I got an iPhone. I got a MacBook. I've got more Apple products in my home than I've ever had before. And of course, Apple's becoming a leader in PC sales, in market share. By next year, they're probably going to boost past to the number one position. And that's just a lot of things to think about. And to have something like that happen, like I said, it was a sad day back in October when Steve Jobs passed away. But should that have been said at the State of the Union? And my answer is no, it shouldn't have been done that way. I mean, I'm glad he did it. I'm glad that he honored somebody like Steve Jobs by saying what he said. But I think it gave unfair advantage. I mean, is the next State of the Union, is he going to mention Bill Gates' name? Is he going to mention Eric Schmidt, who gets associated to Google? Will he say Mark Zuckerberg so Facebook gets a boost? What about Biz Stone so Twitter gets a boost? Names shouldn't be dropped at State of the Union addresses. I think that's the biggest issue right there. So, anyway, what do you think on it? This is not a dig on the president. This is not a dig on Apple. This is just what should have happened, what shouldn't have happened at the State of the Union address. And I feel very strong about that. And you might feel differently, and I understand that. Let me know. Twitter me at Geekazine. Geekazine@gmail.com. You can also call the hotline. I will take every call that if you've got a different opinion on it, and we will play it on the show. And go from there. And your responses are important. Because we need to make, for us in the United States, we want a great country. And that's understandable. And outside the United States, whatever country you're in, you probably want that country to be a great country. And that's understandable. And of course, I gear stuff mostly because I'm in the United States. But yeah, that was just something that I don't think should have happened. But anyway, not here or there. That's pretty much it. If you have any questions, like I said, Twitter me at Geekazine, and we'll go from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that is the show for today. Sorry about the little rant at the end, but it had to be said. So hopefully you enjoyed the show. Let me know when you're on iTunes, when you're on Zune, when you're on wherever you're watching this video. There's probably some little star system there. Please, 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 please mark me down. Give me a comment. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like about the show. Call the number of 608-205-4378. Twitter me at Geekazine. Geekazine@gmail.com. Let me know what you think about the show. Because if you let me know, then I know, and then I can make changes if necessary. So anyway, we will be back next week with another Geek Smack. I'm glad to be back in the saddle again. It's been a lot of fun to do this show once again. Gets my blood boiling. Now I got to go back and do a whole bunch of CES stuff and of course get the HP stuff. We got tons of content going over at Geekazine, so check it out over at Geekazine.com. Until next week, we'll have another Geek Smack. We're going to smack it out for now. Thanks a lot for watching. My name is Jeffrey Powers, and of course, Geekazine.com. Until next time, take care.